Breaking news tonight, the FBI says the Charlie Kirk conspiracy theories are legit. That's the first time we've ever heard that from the government. Think about it.
The whole situation with the Charlie Kirk shooting just got a lot more messy and confusing. It all started a few days ago when a very important FBI leader named Chappelle made a big announcement. He said that the police are now looking into all the wild and crazy conspiracy theories about the shooting. They are going to treat these strange ideas as real possibilities that they need to investigate. Now, something new has happened. The famous comedian Dave Chappelle has jumped into the drama with his own opinion. People close to him are reporting that Dave is making some very serious claims. He is saying that Charlie Kirk's death was not an accident, but was actually a planned event. He uses the word sacrificed. He also says that a woman named Erica was probably put in her position so that she could take control of Charlie's organization, which is called Turning Point America. But Dave Chappelle's claims get even more intense. He is also alleging that Erica knew ahead of time that Charlie was going to be killed. On top of that, he says that some incredibly powerful people are making the federal police cover up the truth about who the real shooter is. All of this is happening after a lot of people have already been side-eyeing the police. Many folks felt that the official story was full of misinformation meant to hide the real truth. To understand why people are suspicious, we have to go back a bit. Shortly after the shooting, the FBI announced they had arrested a man named Tyler Robinson. They said he might be the shooter. But then, the FBI boss, Chappelle, turned around and said they were making the investigation much bigger. This made it seem like they were not so sure about Tyler Robinson anymore. Patel even went online and listed all the weird stuff they are looking into. He talked about checking where the shot came from, if the shooter had help, strange text messages, online chats, the path of the bullet, how the gun was moved, and even suspicious hand gestures people near Charlie made that could have been secret signals. He said they are looking at everyone who visited the shooter's house right before it happened too. He promised they would not rest until they had all the answers. Even though the FBI never said Tyler was innocent, announcing a bigger investigation basically showed everyone that their case against him wasn't very strong. Then, there was a big memorial service for Charlie at a huge stadium in Arizona. And this event left a lot of fans with more questions than answers. One of the biggest moments people are still talking about was when Erica, Charlie's widow, walked up to the stage to speak. The way she walked down the aisle didn't feel to many people like a sad wife who was grieving. Instead, it felt like a huge, grand entrance, almost like a star walking out onto a stage for a concert. It was a moment that really made people stop and wonder what is truly going on. Then, at the memorial, everyone watching saw something happen. After former President Trump finished his speech, he and Erica shared a hug. At first, it just seemed like a normal, polite hug to show support for someone who is grieving. It looked like a simple, "I'm sorry for your loss" moment. But then, people who were paying very close attention started to talk about it. They began pointing out that the hug seemed different. It didn't seem like a standard, formal hug between two people who just know each other from public events. To these eagle-eyed fans, the hug seemed much more familiar and comfortable. It looked like the kind of hug two people share when they already know each other well on a personal level. It just didn't look like your typical sorry for your loss kind of hug, and that got a lot of people talking and wondering about the nature of their relationship. After people saw that hug between Erica and President Trump, they got very curious. They decided to do some digging online, acting like detectives to find any connection between the two of them. And what they say they discovered has everyone talking and feeling pretty shocked. First, they found out that before she was married to Charlie, Erica was a model. In fact, she won a big beauty pageant called Miss Arizona back in 2012. And here's the interesting part. that pageant was organized by Donald Trump himself. So their connection goes back many years. The story of Erica's life after winning the pageant is also getting a lot of attention. After she won, she didn't just keep modeling. She became a casting director, which is a person who helps choose actors for movies and TV shows. She also started several nonprofit organizations. Some of these were orphanages, which are homes for children without parents. One of them was called Romanian Angels. But this organization is surrounded by very serious and dark claims. People are saying it was involved in terrible things, like the trafficking of children and even organ trafficking, sending people to places like the United Kingdom, Israel, and some secret islands. These are very heavy accusations that make the whole situation seem much more serious. Then there's her job. According to information available on the internet, Erica currently works for a real estate company in New York called the Corcoran Group. This is where things get even more complicated because this company has known ties to Jeffrey Epstein. You might have heard of Epstein. He was a man involved in major crime and scandals before he died. The Corcoran Group was involved in business deals related to Jeffrey Epstein's properties. This includes helping to sell his huge mansion in Palm Beach and also handling the listing for his expensive home in New York City. And this connects back to Trump because, as many people remember, Trump was photographed with Jeffrey Epstein a few times before Epstein passed away. So now, all these connections are starting to form a web that links these people together. But just when we thought the story couldn't get any more strange or frightening, another claim has come out. It is being alleged that Charlie Kirk's own organization, Turning Point America, had already booked the State Farm Stadium for the exact date of his memorial service way back in May of 2025. This is a huge detail because Charlie wasn't shot until September. If this is true, it means the stadium was reserved for his funeral 4 months before he even died. This has left everyone wondering how that could possibly be and what it really means about the entire situation.
According to the Tourism Board in Arizona, the Cardinal Stadium, where that memorial was held. Now, this ain't no small venue. That's where the Arizona Cardinals play, right? That's where they held his memorial, right? Well, Turning Point USA had rented that venue for that date back in May. Why did you need to rent a venue back in May? For what? You weren't promoting something else. You weren't promoting some other gathering. You can't just walk up in places like that. You know what I mean? You have to rent them. You have to pre-plan events, right? So clearly somebody said, well, I know where to do it. I know where to have the memorial. Let's have it in Arizona, where they lived, where she's from. I'm just saying.
This when people thought the story couldn't get more complicated. A famous commentator named Candace Owens stepped in with some very strong statements on social media. She made several claims about Tyler Robinson, the man the FBI had arrested. Candace stated firmly that Tyler Robinson had never, ever set foot on the Utah Valley University campus. She said he wasn't even there on the day the shooting took place. She wrote that the story pushed by the media about Tyler being suicidal was completely made up. She said that many other parts of the official story were also fictional. She specifically called out one big detail. She said it was a complete lie that Tyler's father turned him in to the police after Tyler confessed to the crime. Candace insisted that the truth was the opposite. She said Tyler maintains his innocence and has never even visited the university campus. She challenged the authorities, saying there are absolutely zero clear photos or videos from the campus that show Tyler was there. This, she said, is why the police have only released one blurry image as proof. Tyler's own family has seen that blurry picture, and they swear it is not him. Candace was very clear about one more thing. She stated that Tyler has never, not even once, expressed a suicidal thought to anyone. She ended by accusing the federal government of lying about almost everything in the case. The only thing she said they told the truth about was that the gun used in the shooting belonged to Tyler. So now, with the news about Turning Point America possibly booking the stadium months in advance, and with Candace Owens coming forward with what she says is the truth about Tyler, fans were left completely confused and with a million questions. It was at this messy moment that the famous comedian Dave Chappelle decided to jump in and share his own opinion on the whole situation. And he is making some incredibly wild and serious allegations. According to inside sources, Dave Chappelle is claiming that Charlie Kirk was sacrificed by the very same powerful people who helped make him famous in the first place. Dave says that the moment he heard that Charlie had rejected a huge gift of $150 million from a sponsor, he knew that the plug had been pulled on Charlie. He believes that Charlie's entire rise to fame was like a project or a show that was paid for and supported by a secret group of powerful people. Dave also alleges that this is the reason Charlie's wife, Erica, was planted in his life from the very beginning. He thinks she was placed there as part of this larger plan. But his claims get even more intense. He says the entire shooting was planned months ahead of time, with Erica already being positioned to step in and take over Charlie's organization after he was gone. Then, Dave makes another strange claim that adds a whole new layer to the story. He starts asking questions about whether Charlie and Erica ever actually had a child together. He points out that you can find lots of old modeling photos of Erica online, but there are no pictures of her actually being pregnant. According to Dave, this is more proof that their whole life was a setup created by these power players. He believes that once these powerful people were done using Charlie for their goals, they simply got rid of him. To many people, Dave Chappelle's wild theory might actually make a little sense, especially when they look at what happened next. It's a fact that just 2 weeks after the whole shooting incident, Erica Kirk was already back on television, appearing in public again, which some people found to be very soon after such a major tragedy.
So blessed to have more work than we even could ever dream of. I mean, it's beautiful, and Turning Point Action, full steam ahead. So powerful.
People were completely shocked when they saw that Erica Kirk had released a brand new episode of her podcast. This happened very soon after Charlie's death, and for a lot of people, this was the final piece of proof they needed. They agreed with Dave Chappelle, feeling that this showed Erica never truly loved or mourned Charlie at all. They became convinced that she was just a plant, someone who was placed in his life from the very beginning as part of a secret plan. However, not everyone felt this way. Charlie's most loyal followers and many of the regular listeners of the podcast were quick to defend Erica. They argued that everyone deals with grief in their own way. They said that for some people, trying to keep a sense of normalcy and continuing the work that their loved ones started is actually a way of honoring their memory. For these defenders, keeping the podcast alive was simply Erica's way of coping with the terrible loss and keeping Charlie's legacy going. Meanwhile, Dave Chappelle's big theory about Charlie being sacrificed had fans talking nonstop. In the comment sections online, people were sharing their own thoughts and reactions. One person wrote that they felt what happened was similar to a bad relationship, where one person uses the other. They said, the same way some men can get with a woman, have kids, and then sacrifice her for fame is the same thing I feel like Erica Kirk did. They also pointed out that Erica was older than Charlie as another strange detail. Another comment was very direct, stating, Charlie Kirk was sacrificed. There, I said it. They dismissed the whole situation as white folks' business, meaning they saw it as a complicated and messy drama. Someone else made a distinction between the words, assassinated and sacrificed. They wrote, Charlie Kirk wasn't assassinated. He was sacrificed. They believe this was a planned move by powerful people in his own political party. Their theory was that these Republicans were about to use Charlie's death to flip the entire political situation upside down. They believed Charlie's death would be used as a catalyst, or a spark, to push for some major and permanent changes in the country. This person also imagined that while this was happening, Democrats would just sit back and do nothing, maybe saying that what was happening was illegal but not taking any real action to stop it. The person ended by saying, this is all a game, meaning they believe powerful people are just playing with everyone's lives. So, the big question everyone is left with is this. Do you think Charlie Kirk was truly sacrificed as part of a dark and secret plan? Or are all of these shocking revelations and strange connections just one giant and unbelievable coincidence? Let us know what you think in the comments below, and when you're done, be sure to check out the next video.